Evening, you wild roving band of questers. Simplicity here. And I wanted to drop in and get us a little reality tunnel portal report for this third gateway of initiation that we just entered into with the full moon we had in Aquarius. That super moon there, that blue super moon. This is when we're really starting to pick up the pace, and there's going to be a lot of transformation coming in. So I thought we should tap into the frequency and just feel out what's around the bend here for us. There is some action-packed astrology coming in. I'll be bringing more in around that, but we have a very significant cycle opening up here. This particular gateway of initiation will lead us up to the September 17th full moon in Pisces that is a partial lunar eclipse. It's tying up the solar eclipse that went down in Aries, that total eclipse that went down back there on April 8th. Okay, so important stuff happening here. Then we have a new moon coming in on the 2nd, okay, of September in Virgo. The day after that, Venus goes conjunct the south node of Libra, all right? This is all part of tying up a major cycle between the nodes of destiny. So there's a lot coming to a head right now, and a lot that wasn't seen before is about to be illuminated. Now, it's important to note with that super moon that we got going on September 17th in Pisces that it is going to be an eclipse that is impacting the north node of Aries, okay? So something is hidden at that time. Something won't quite be seen. We won't have the full picture. But with Venus conjunct the south node of Libra, we know there's a lot rolling out here in balancing things out in matters of both love and war. We can't forget that aspect of the Venusian energy. Then connecting the energy, connecting the energy of the new moon in Virgo that goes down on September 2nd. On October 2nd, we have a solar eclipse known as the Ring of Fire that's going to be going down in the sign of Libra on October 2nd. So the October 2nd new moon is mirroring the energy of the Virgo new moon. We got so much mirroring energy going on. It's wild. But wait, there's more. That September 17th super moon that is going down in Pisces with a partial lunar eclipse that affects the north node of Aries. We got a super moon going down in Libra on October 17th. So that's mirroring the one in Pisces. It's wild. This is like a time of karmic balance. This is a time when that really ties up the cycle of the lunar eclipse that was in Libra back on March 25th of this year. So all this action between Aries and Libra as far as the eclipse energy is coming to a close in October. All right. But what we're concerned about right now is, can we make it through the cauldron of Dagda? We've been getting stuck up there collectively. Can we find the way to healing? Well, that remains to be seen, and that's what this third gateway of initiation is all about. So that's what we're concerning ourselves with this little portal report here. We're tapping into the energy. We just had that Aquarian full moon, so let's see what's coming in now. Let's get some details. We're going to do a little quest report. This is for all signs, okay? Don't matter what sign you are, what placement, come as you are. You're all welcome. We're going to get in touch with this particular quest, all right? But this is the last of the vulture energy. Remember, it came in, the 3 came in with the vultures, okay? So these are all about closing cycles, these supermoon energies we've been moving through. But it's different with the one that comes up in Libra on the 17th of October, because that doesn't have any eclipse energy around it. That's when the lights come on in the room. Woo! And there was a whole V formation of geese flying up to the north there. So yes, it's like opening up the road to that north node, opening up the road to the stone of destiny. Because remember, when I mapped it out a long time ago, those of you who are newer here, you won't remember this, but a while ago, I mapped out the 4 jewels of the Tuatha De Danann, or the 4 treasures. And I mapped them out according to the cardinal cross. And that 4th jewel rests at the north node position, which is normally housed by Capricorn. That's pretty wild that those geese were flying up toward the north there, because I have to say, snow goose represents Capricorn energy. So that's a big road opener collectively. That's when we get to shoot our shot, because it's also known as the hunter's moon. All right. So that's when you really have a chance to see, are you still stuck in the south node, or are you moving into your destiny? Did you let fate get the better hand, or were you able to activate your inner alchemist and transform that? Ooh, and look, time is ticking, because look at this effing hourglass. Right. And that thing that drew us like a moth to a flame is starting to go further and further out of view. Somebody is racing ahead here. They are ready for transformation. They are ready to release the shadow. They've learned their lessons. They don't need to repeat them. Okay. So these are the themes that are rolling out right now. And some are still stuck in the south node, and they're still reaching for somebody that is moving ahead. These are relationship dynamics playing out. But you got to find the impetus to rise, man. I have to say, and time is ticking. So where you haven't released something, and we also have to look at that quality of a moth to a flame. Not all desires are meant to be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? This is about really understanding what is your true north. What are you chasing here? Are you chasing something that is truly aligned with your purpose at this time? Or have you been reaching for something that no matter how many times you jump into that fire, you just find yourself reduced to ash, and you have to start from the ground up all over again? This is about stepping up to a higher road that gets you beyond that cycle of self-destruction here. 8 on the clock. Okay, so let's see what's coming in here. What is this quest? Time is ticking. All right, so if you really want to claim something, you have to take the risk to transform. Is what you're desiring able to face the fire test of truth? And that's all about, can your relationship, can this connection, can this dream, this vision, this pursuit withstand the truth as well? Okay, because I do feel like there's something that will be revealed in these quests, so right, that does give you pause and makes you wonder, can I truly release this, transform this, and have it born anew? Because the truth, as you understood it, now has quite a few holes in it. This is the theme of our quest, moving through this 3rd initiatory gateway, the Queen of Holes. Where have you been drained by pursuits that sounded tempting but led you down a garden path, and now have inhibited your ability to see something clearly? Where have you gone in certain directions that only drained you of your power, and still have you sitting here holding that Ace of Wands, or that Spear of Lu, you could call it, giving you the ability to actually take action and step through a door of opportunity that's been presented to you, but are maybe deluding yourself, lying to yourself about your true desire to step through this door? Or maybe something has been transformed in the process, and the door you once were so eager to step through has left you with maybe some holes in your theory. Okay, there's something here that's not fulfilling. There's some pursuit, there's some door that you're still adamant to go through, despite the fact that it drains you. And your excuses for continuing to adhere to it are starting to have quite a few holes in those theories. So there's something to address here. Okay, there's something that needs to be looked at here in this particular quest. All right, let's see. What is the nemesis? What is the nemesis on the path? What is the challenger on the path as we step into this third gateway of initiation that leads up to the 17th of September and that lunar eclipse impacting the north node of Aries? And what needs to be released? What you should have given the finger a long time ago. This needs to be transformed if you ever hope to rise above the BS, right? It's time to find the middle way between the head and the heart, which is instinct. It's when your vision merges with your gut instincts. You have to move forward in this way at this time. You can't have over sentimentality, and you can't be all up in the ether either. You have to recognize that you're in the muck like the rest of us. I don't care if you feel like you've ascended to 5D, 13D, whatever dimension of reality. You're still here in a corporeal form. And as long as you are, you have to wade through the shit, just like the rest of us. And so there's need for transformation here. We're all moving through very scorpionic territory here too, with that snake medicine, that snake heading south. South is the direction of transformation. It's the direction of fire. And it's also the direction of the trickster, Shanodesi, okay, on the medicine wheel. And we need some medicine right now. And look at that toilet. It's almost like representing the cauldron of Dagda and what's kind of like clogging things up that should have been flushed out a long time ago. You know, there's something about also rising above the sorrow and rising above the anger and moving into more lightness of being. At some point, it does become a bit of martyrdom to just hang out down there blaming people for why things are the way they are, or bemoaning your fate when you could be actively spinning it into the stuff of destiny. If you just find the middle way and instinctually just trust where your feet are carrying you at this time, there is a third road, right? That marries all the stuff of your heart also with your wisdom and what you've learned through the experiences you've been through. And sure, you can numb it out with vices. You can stuff it down with midnight pizza. You can turn to drink. You can turn to women, wine, song, whatever. It don't matter though. There's something here that has once been held as something elevated, coveted, and it's not legit. And the only reason you're sticking to it is because it's a matter of pride, you know? When you know it's time to let this go and get on the road, you need to cut this off, okay? Until that's done, it's sort of like keeping you in this place where the energy can't elevate. So we're dealing with need for transformation. We're dealing with things that have come to their natural end, and how when we hold on to these things, it blocks our inheritance. It blocks our blessings. It blocks what is wanting to manifest in our life. We can't anchor our visions in reality from that place. And at some point, you do need to get a bird's eye view. You need to rise above it. You need a different perspective. You can't sit there and continue to, fixate on what was lost. And there's a need to, shift the inner trajectory. Well, what's to be gained? Have you thought of that? I mean, there's been some room made here, or there wants to be some room made here. And I mean, what are you holding on to anyway? It's draining you. It's leaving you feeling empty. How can any nourishment come in? How can you be nourished by the cauldron of Dagda? It would just be wasted on you, leak right out of you. There's no way to even retain any nourishment that could come in from healing or receiving that homecoming to yourself, or experiencing that sense of real deep connection with another, or feeling like you're really embodying your purpose at this time, right? So there's a need for transformation here. And that's the nemesis, the desire to stay in a place of ego, the desire to cling to the grief, the desire to, you know, hold on to the anger because we feel in some way that gives us a false sense of power to be able to like point our finger and it's, oh, it's your fault. It's all you. You're the one who did it. I mean, you're kind of insulting yourself when you say that too, because you knew what you were getting into at some point. Okay. And it's, if you think about it, it's kind of a weird way of still holding on to the energy. If you say that you're so like fed up with, you know, what this situation or what so-and-so put you through, then why do you continue to relive it all the time by feeding the grudge energy? You know, you got to start looking at the ways you trick yourself to stay stuck, okay? And to sort of negate your peace, which is you're a creator. You have the ability to manifest a new direction for yourself. You do. All right. So what's your ally, collective? What's your ally as we move through this? Yeah, you know, your ally is to just, you know, let your mind be blown and let that tower fall and notice on the other side of the destruction, on the other side of the ending, everything's really fine. It's not as cataclysmic as you make it out to be. You're inflating it in your mind. You're telling yourself tall stories that give you a pass or an excuse as to why you can't walk through this door of opportunity, or worse yet, you're martyring yourself and trying to make it seem noble or somehow holy. It's holy, all right, to stay behind and nurse something that you know isn't authentic to you. You know, it's like your excuses are starting to wear thin. And when I say you, I'm referring to me too. This is all of us. This is collective energy. This is also, you know, that sort of revolutionary energy of Aquarius coming in that's pointing the way up ahead. That Aquarian full moon is really showing us that it's time to sort of settle things, man, because it's culminating on the 17th, which is 8 energy in the sign of Pisces, eclipsing that north node. It's sort of saying, until we balance out this karma, until you deal with the hidden enemies, until you actually suss out your blind spot, there's no way in hell you're even going to be able to see your way to transform this into the stuff of destiny. You can stay here in the toilet bowl as long as you want, you know? You can, you know, just making the rounds, leaving streaks. Yeah, you know, it's time to understand that sometimes it's good. It's good to let the house of cards fall. It's good to have your mind blown and see things in a different way. And you can do that willingly, right? You can do it with enthusiasm, be like, okay, I'm ready to just experience something new. And you can tap into that side of it. Or you can, you know, feel sorry for yourself and you can still try to reach for something false, even though there's no resisting this. It's going through the transformation, like it or not. So this is sort of like giving you the opportunity to choose how you want to move through this transformation, collective. All right. Well, what's the lay of the land as we move through this initiatory gateway? I mean, because if we make it through this one, the next gateway is leading us up to the Stone of Destiny, like for real. But we got to make it through this cycle here. Okay, we got to get through this piece of the journey that's all about integrating the experiences that we were so emotionally invested in, but have now become something that's just sort of preventing any true healing happening because people are staying too much in the wounding. You know, you don't want to live out of your wound. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. We're supposed to really move into this energy right now. Frog medicine. This is about cleansing. It's about spiritual cleansing. It's about cleansing away the old cycle. It's about cleansing away all the hurt. It's about cleansing away the anger. It's about accepting that, yeah, look, it's that Scorpio energy. Yeah, once this had a hold of me, once this had me in its claws, once I was in a position where, you know, I was just stuck. I was stuck in the shadow. I couldn't see the light, right? But there's something here recognizing that, yeah, there's endings, okay? But there's the flip side of that. There's beginnings. And judgment is being sounded here. And there is a brand new beginning coming in for you. But you got to accept that the old way is not the way. And it was 2033 on the clock. This is a bit of hindsight being activated in advance so that you have the ability to truly see what's going to be of assistance to building a foundation that's worth building something on. Because something built to last wants to come in here. And you're just at the start, man. And it's all going to kick off in October. So big Libra energy here. Libra, Scorpio dynamic. We have to remember before Libra was in the South Node position, Scorpio was in that South Node position, okay? So what had a hold of you? What controlled you? What tempted you? What took you down to the depths that was going down back in 2020, 2021, into 2022, when we had that action going on with Scorpio in the South Node, is going to be very different than what's happening right now. You're getting to the place of finding the balance in that situation with Libra there. And you will have something to celebrate if you answer the call. And what's that call with judgment? It's to rise. It's like, come on, man, you're not dead yet. Are you? I mean, if you're staying in a rut, you are. It's no different, no different than a grave, all right? Only the dimensions are different, okay? So there's something here about recognizing that it's your wake-up call. It's time to get up. And there is something to celebrate on the other side here, firmly getting something by the tail that used to have you in its claws. And you're cleansing things away, and it's good, all right? It's good. That's the lay of the land, and that's what you're meant to do. If you do this, you'll have something to really celebrate. You'll be able to toot your own horn. You'll be able to toot your horn as you're leading the charge up to that North Node, up to that Stone of Destiny, okay? But before you can do that, the cleansing needs to happen, all right? It's a spiritual cleansing. It's an important cycle, and you should honor it as such, okay? But don't get to the place of self-indulgence where you're feeling sorry for yourself. How do you ever expect to activate your destiny feeling like that? At some point, you have to take a more kind of stoic view of life and just go, this is part of life. Sometimes things are rough, but it's what you do with them that counts. And a lot of you are just still, you got something from an intimate connection in your past. It's still got a hold of you. We got sex, witch, and octopus here, right? So there's a cord you need to cut there. You need to cut off the parasitic influences. Do expect them to act up more right now. They're going to have like their final last stand, all right? So do expect to feel, these energies, these people coming around who just want to like, no, you will not advance without me, okay? You do need to be prepared for this. And it's up to you to make those calls, okay? You can't really blame anybody if you keep, going back into the same scenario again, right? What's the meat of the matter, man? What is the beef? The meat of the matter as we're moving through this particular lunar cycle leading up to that full moon in Pisces on the 17th of September. What is the meat of the matter? Or, what is the beef in some cases, all right? In some cases, it may be like a real bone of contention. It may be a conflict, something you're needing to sort through here. Oh, well, of course, this is the meat of the matter. We got big, sexy Satan. All right, so it's the tempter, okay? It's the sense of pure hedonism. It's tired of dealing with the taskmaster side of the Capricorn energy with Saturn and Pisces as well. It's the desire to sort of maybe, get that taskmaster to lighten up a little bit. It's inviting in a little bit more of the sea goat energy when we look at Capricorn, okay? Especially with it being in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces there. But I do think this is a time when, you know, we are lured in, you know, we're lured in by things that maybe give us a false sense of power. And this is about going through the fire and gaining a different kind of sexy that comes through self-mastery, because that is that devil card exalted, all right? The devil card exalted shows a pair that are chained beneath him, right? But many people miss this aspect, that what's chained beneath him is like the lower natures. He's mastered that, and that's given him a certain level of dominion, a certain level of power in material reality, no longer held back by these lesser qualities of the nature that, you know, has him acting a fool. And yeah, it may be sexy for a night, but then it's like, wow, I blew my wad on that, and now what do I got to show for it? And you can look at that wad on many different levels. Yes, you could look at it intimately, but you could also look at it financially. All right. This is just period about how you're showing up in material reality and how that's affecting your ability to transform these cycles that you call fate, that are just actually subconscious things that trip you up all the time, that you're not willing to really like drag out of the dark and have a look at and gain mastery over, right? So, I mean, this is the beef. This is the meat of the matter. What are you going to do? You know, it ain't so sexy if you keep getting burned. You know what I'm saying? It ain't so sexy if you keep getting burned. Yeah, and you got to make up your mind here. Are you going to free your mind? Are you going to liberate yourself here? Are you going to keep Rochambeauing your life away and just leave it up to chance, and then, you know, bemoan your fate when it turns out, you know, less than you desire? And all of a sudden you feel divided in two, conflicted and confused. I mean, you have to own your part in that, all right? This is what we need to look at here. What are the consequences the collective's going to have to deal with as a result of our past actions as we move through the cycle, if we hope to reclaim the cauldron of Dagda here? We'll see. Look at that. Baseball goat in reverse. Okay, that is not owning the Capricorn energy. That's using the Capricorn energy in a destructive way. It's using it to be combative. It's using it to be really stubborn. I mean, this is like being too resilient too. This is like this is like being a little slap happy. It's like, no, I want what I want, and I don't want anything else, and I don't care how many times I get knocked around. I'm going to just keep going at it relentlessly. And again, we got Madam Rufflebonnet here in reverse. Oh, I mean, it just doesn't get worse than this, okay? This is nitpicking. This is just like passing the buck. This is micromanaging. This is just ineffective. This is putting the energy toward the wrong target here. This is something we really need to deal with here. Our need to, you know, always fuss about other people, or fuss about what so-and-so did, or judge how another's moving forward, or be combative. You know, it's a waste of energy. If people took even just, you know, a quarter of the energy they use micromanaging what other people are doing in their life, or making judgments about what other people are doing, or needing to blame or kind of, you know, control people and control their moves and make them fit within their framework. And if people would drop this energy so much, just stubbornness, push, being combative, it's amazing how much they could move ahead and transform their lives. And then they would be so fulfilled and so engaged with what they're doing, they wouldn't even care about this. This is misdirecting the energy. And some of you are also heading in directions that it's like, look, it don't matter how much you try to get. Ooh, light wanting to go down on that side there. I know it doesn't translate for you all there, but it translates over here, okay? It's like, this can also be, you know, just not wanting to see that whatever you're pursuing or the way you've been going about it, okay, it's not it. It's not working. And you have to deal with that. How did this come to be? You got to own your part in it. If you're looking at a mess, like, well, what did you contribute to the mess? Now, what can you do to clean it up instead of telling what other people should be doing to clean it up? All you can do is sweep your side of the street. You know what I'm saying here? So there's a need to have a look at this. There's a need to understand, like, maybe it's time to stop worrying about, making judgments about what other people are doing, nitpicking them, telling them what to do, trying to force your way onto them, and accept that maybe this isn't the right way for me to move. Maybe there's something I need to shift here. Maybe I'm going to just take my attention off whatever is going on over there for a minute. I'm going to look at myself and ask myself, what can I do differently right now to improve these circumstances? Because, you're just going to be like, you're going to be out. 3 strikes, you're out. It's coming to that time. There's judgment being called in these situations here. All right. So there's some stuff you need to clean up. There's some stuff you need to clean up. There's some tit for tat or some power dynamic that's really distorted, or some need to prove a point, or, be stubborn or something that is not working. All right. So there's definitely a need to work through that in order to get momentum going, to move forward, I have to say. All right. What is the power to be gained through mastery during this cycle? What is the power to be gained through that self-mastery through the cycle? Yeah, to gain some real muscle, man, okay? To no longer be divided, but maybe merge that young, enthusiastic, experimental side of yourself with the more mature, wiser, side of yourself that's integrated these lessons. I mean, I feel like double caveman, you're going to have double the strength, man. Double the strength, and look, here comes the sweet reward. It's all gravy, baby. You got the gravy funnel here. Then you'll really have something to, feel a bit cocky about. No longer will you be blocked. This is really experiencing that new beginning. And hey, this is something worthy of being put in that cauldron of Dagda, and you'll have a direct line to that nourishment, right? These are blessings coming in. They'll be protected. It's also blessings from above, that it doesn't just stay in this realm of like fantasizing about it. No, you're bringing it into material reality, and you will definitely have something to crow about. It's the dawning of a new day. So, I mean, that's some good power to gain. It's the power to gain both hindsight and foresight and integrate that in order to move forward very strongly, to lay down the proper foundation for your destiny to be activated, and then having it come in. And then, yeah, then you can be a little cocky. 33 on the clock. Then it's okay. Yeah, you'll have earned the right to kind of crow a bit, okay? But there's people out there that are acting real cocky, and they haven't done anything to even, warrant that position, okay? So there's something to be looked at here. All right, what's at stake for your comrades, your loved ones, those that you're sharing the path with? What's at stake here for all of you, those you want to see get through the other side with you, those you hope will be able to celebrate this, gravy train with you, that they'll be able to ride it out with you. Well, this is just fine. We got some weird ass mystical shit. It's like, do you want to go on the adventure? Do you want to see all there is to see there? Do you really want to open up to the adventure? Because in order to open up to the adventure, you have to be an adventurer. And that means you have to be willing to like go where you've never gone before. You have to be willing to, take some risk. You can't be so scared. You can't control things when you're on an adventure. I mean, yeah, sure, be at the helm of your life, respond to the changes as they come, move spontaneously. But there's something much greater that's going to be steering your course here. And there is that stone of destiny. That's the promise. That's the promise with that October 17th full moon that will be coming in Libra, all right? That eclipse that'll be coming in there that lightens everything up. You'll have a healthy sense of pride by the time that comes around. And that's when you really get cooking, okay? It opens you up to a whole new level of connection too. Just your spiritual path will feel so much more rooted. And you'll be receiving the blessings of that too. What happens when you stop trying to squeeze all the magic out of life because you have to have such set parameters around it. And you stop viewing it as chaos and instead you view it as creative flow because you know that it takes chaos to birth a star. And you've been wanting that star, right? You've been wishing on that star. And that star is what's associated with Aquarius. So at what point are you going to leave it open to a little bit of the magic and the mystery that is life, right? And this is about there's a way that everybody can get where they need to go, right? There's a way that it all comes together just quite so perfectly when we let go of our little machinations with our groveling hands and instead we are opened up to the grand design. There's something that will flower here and something you'll feel really good about. It will be a reward hard earned and it benefits everybody here. And this is definitely the opening to a spiritual journey. Once we get past that full moon in Pisces on the 17th and we get through that ring of fire, which is the solar eclipse that will be going down in Libra for that new moon on the 2nd of October, leading up to that full moon in Libra on the 17th of October. That's when we're entering in as of the 17th of September. Those are mirror moons. Okay. So between Pisces and Libra. Okay. And that's an interesting dichotomy right there. Okay. Because when you got Pisces, you got hidden enemies. When you got Libra, you got open enemies. And it's like the lights coming on in the room. So you're also going to see that some people in your party, they're not really part of your party. They never wanted you to even get to the point where you'd have a party. You can't see that right now. That illumination comes with that final, you know, there had to be a fourth one, right? A fourth initiation. The difference between the three we've been through is we got to get past the cauldron of Dagda. Then we enter the light building phase. We're moving out of the shadow by the time we get to that fourth initiatory gateway to quest for the stone of destiny. You know, we need that fourth jewel. Okay. So there's a lot of reward on offer here, but there's some things that need to be exposed. And we're also thinking about the blind spot, right? With Pisces. Well, the light is going to come on with that Libra full moon. There won't be blind spots anymore. It will be very clear. It will be very clear where you and your party are heading right now and what's at stake. And we have to also look at the house of Pisces is about the karma, all right? And hey, Libra shares a similarity with that. I mean, Libra is in the South Node right now. That is about the karma to be weighed out, but there's also the justice energy, the judgment energy. So you can see this is very significant. It's wrapping up this dichotomous dance of now you see it, now you don't, between Mars and Venus with the nodes of destiny action. So this is very significant here, all right? It's going to trip you out when it comes through. You're going to realize that you were looking at things in a very myopic way. That's what I got, okay? What's at stake for this destiny and this newness that you want to bring into your life? This is what's at stake. Look at this effing hourglass. Are you going to sit here and be like a cat licking your butt for all of eternity? Are you just going to keep doing this? You got a choice. You've already been given the knowledge. There's nothing more to learn here. This is time to transform this. And if this situation or this relationship was not able to withstand the truth, why are you holding on to it? Why are you holding on to something false? You think if you keep looking at it close enough, you're going to see it differently? No, it's always going to leave a bad taste in your mouth because you're looking with the wrong eye. You need to look with a third eye here. Okay? You know, there's something you need to really see differently. There's perspective needed in this situation. And that's what's at stake. That you're not willing to go through that fire of transformation. You're not willing to go for that thing that lights you up, that gives you the courage to actually go through that ring of fire. It's an initiatory gateway in and of itself. It is the initiatory gateway of the Libra eclipse that happened earlier on March 25th. Okay? So there's something that maybe you weren't brave enough to do back then. Are you going to be brave enough now? Or are you going to still stay? Are you still going to stay put and sink down further into what you say makes you feel like life is passing you by? It's up to you. You get to choose. All right? You get to choose. What's the cookie? What's the incentive for passing through? Oh, I love it. This is the incentive. Options. Synchronicities. All kinds of different experiences. Ordering from life like a menu. What would you like? You can call it into being. This is getting a little divine aid from angels on the outfield. This is synchronicity coming in. This is going on a magical mystery tour. This is finding signs, symbols, all the guidance you need to lead you on the way forward. This is enjoying the theater of it all, enjoying being on this stage of life and entering into co-creation with it. This is having your mind lit up in a new way. This is taking good care of your body, not ignoring your physical needs. This is getting stronger on every level, mind, body, spirit. This is knowing that your harvests are protected for you. This is feeling in contact with your ancestral energy, knowing your roots, cutting off what no longer serves you. This is having the bravery to be a bit of a rebel, to swim against the current, to do things a little bit different, and to open up your dancing card and have some fun along the way. And it also looks like big gain, okay? Tangible gain. Being able to create an abundant life. And yes, that can be financially on that level, but abundance comes in many forms. And there's some reward that wants to come through here for you. But this is enthusiasm coming in. This is not feeling like somebody's got you cursed and under their control. This is, you know, dropping that BS and taking full agency of your own life and watching how you can make it whatever you want to be. It's also upping your skills on the alchemy level, okay? Gaining certain abilities. And we'll do a whole read on that, okay? We'll do individual signs, all right? I'll open up quest reads for all of you, okay? And we'll start bringing those in this week because I just think that would be fun, okay? To give you all your individual little insight and detail. But this is like, what's the cookie? What do you want it to be? You know, explore, play, experiment with it. Move into your creative cycle. Stop being such a drag, man. That's kind of how it's coming through. You want to change something? You think you're going to change something feeling like such a dud? No, man. You got to get yourself excited about life again, you know? And something will come in that'll give you that lift. It looks pretty good here, right? What's the target that you'll be wanting to aim for? Let's just get a little precursor here. You know, see? Look. I say, what's the target? Annihilation's the target. Stop being loyal to something that really, it's just like, this is bottom feeder energy. And you've made it such a big deal, right? You've been so combative with this. You've made it such a big deal, you know, this back and forth. And it's nothing. It's nothing. You're being loyal to nothing. You know, so if it is something, if it's so meaningful to you, you know, why are you allowing it to stay in this state where it never has the ability to transform? Don't you understand? By you not being willing to allow this thing to be released and transformed, it's keeping you in this position, both of you, or all of you in some cases. You know, how this plays out is different for each individual, but we know with the Aries Libra dynamic going on here, Mars and Venus, a lot of this does have to do with relationships, who you're relating to, who's on the other side of the table. There's a lot of combative energy here. And both people are holding a smoking gun, like both have fired shots here. You can call yourself innocent in that regard, but you know, that's not taking a real look at the situation, you know. But annihilation is here. No matter how you try to dress it up or what kind of face you try to put on it, you know, annihilation is here. And you should want to annihilate this, okay? Because it's what opens your road. There's times when we really just have to accept the endings. 46, 44 on the clock. Yes, 10 energy. Accept the endings. That brings alignment. That brings us into our power. That brings the kind of manifestations you want to see in your life. That puts you in the flow of synchronicity. Let's do a cut of the deck here and just see what's on the other side of the annihilation. I want to know what's on the other side of the annihilation, man. I love it. Taking off the mask. No longer have that false face, man. You know, you finally let this ending take place, and then it's like the mask fall away. And suddenly you realize what is for you, and you go on that wizard's quest, all right? This is moving into that Taliesin energy. It's moving into that Merlin energy. It's really heading down your path, and you got, you know, you're carrying your power with you, you know, what you learned from what you've been through. And this is when that weird ass mystical shit all begins, okay? So I want to get us 3 supermoon gates of initiation here, okay? Or maybe let's look at it. Yeah, well, let's do, let me see how I want to, I'm doing this on the fly here. Can you tell? Can you tell? Let me think of the most significant events coming in there. Okay, let's look at one initiatory gateway. The first one will represent the supermoon lunar eclipse in Pisces that's also eclipsing the north node of Aries. Okay, so let's look at what's going to go down with that, right? And the next thing I want to look at will be the second initiatory gate, which will be representative of that ring of fire, the solar eclipse going down in Libra on October 2nd. And then the third is going to be, you know, really stepping fully into what will be overall, you know, the fourth initiatory gateway. But I really want to divide it up into terms of those eclipses, throwing those in there because I feel that's super significant. It's wrapping up such, able to really have the lights on in the room. Okay, so let's look at those 3. So the final one will be the one that leads to stepping onto the road to the stone of destiny. And that will be with the full moon in Libra that is a supermoon. Comes in on October 17th, okay? So that October 17th Libra full moon will be the third pile over here, okay? Ooh, there was a block there. Okay. No, you're not going to reach your destiny. There's already people, you know, kind of riled up that are trying to hold people back too. That's also that energy of that, look at that effing hourglass, you know. Those that are trying to keep people from going through the transformation and getting to the light on the other side, they're sinking fast. And you're going to start seeing that roll out a lot more, I have to tell you, okay? This middle pile here will be for the Ring of Fire, the new moon solar eclipse that will be going down in Libra on October 2nd. And this first pile over here will represent the Pisces full moon. That's also the eclipse of the North Node. And that will be on September 17th. Okay, so that's super moon in Libra, using the Dragon Tarot for this. Okay. And the Ring of Fire in Libra on October 2nd. Okay. And then we got that Pisces full moon. So Pisces full moon, that initiatory gateway in this process, we have, see, the Ace of Pentacles. So there's something here that needs to be transformed. So there can be the potential of this Ace of Pentacles. And this is a seed to be planted for the future that can come to a point of great fruition and manifestation in the spring, right? So it's an opportunity, right? That's all a gateway of initiation is, really. It's an opportunity. Are you going to be able to move through that energy of the cauldron of Dagda and accept an opportunity to transform what once was considered debilitating into the source of your healing? Okay. Are you going to be able to find the reason to rise up and invest in a new direction that's in alignment with your true north at this stage? Because a lot has changed, right? That's what's coming in there. Ring of Fire, October 2nd, new moon, solar eclipse in Libra. That's an eclipse going down for the south node, okay, of Libra. What is that initiatory gateway about? Woo! I'm telling you, the Fool, okay, the Fool. And you see, this is moving forward, getting beyond the thorns and claiming the sweetness of the bloom. See, that dragon has that rose in its mouth. And it's about taking the path of endurance here with that white tiger medicine. Do also remember that the white tiger represents the West with those celestial beasts that came in earlier. And so this is also about transforming something emotionally from pain to a source of fulfillment, to a place of actually feeling pleasure. You know, this is getting to the other side of the pain and the lack, to a place of fulfillment and pleasure, and being able to pace oneself, right? Not needing to rush, ready to experience the journey. So the brand new cycle heading up to that North Node, that is that Aries North Node activation, 5333 on the clock. Okay, yes, this is the manifestation coming into view. There will be two left behind. I see that, okay? There will be two left behind. They'll be watching you move forward here, right? And that will become clearer to you what that's all about. But it's a big leap of faith at that time. Are you going to jump through the ring of fire? It burns, 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 that ring of fire. Oh, it's worth it. Okay. And then let's see. Here we go. This is when all the lights come on in the room. This is the third initiatory gateway. And overall, in terms of the supermoon action and the jewels of the Tuatha De Danann, this is the initiatory gateway onto the road that leads to the Stone of Destiny. We had a hard time with this last year. Let's see how we do this year. How are we entering this? Page of Pentacles. Okay, so this is willing to be the student here. This is taking the pentacle, okay, this Ace of Pentacles that you gain with the Pisces initiatory gateway, all right, because this is what comes in that lunar cycle that leads up to that Libra full moon, all right. This is taking that and actually investing it, 55 on the clock, being willing to learn as you step into this new cycle. All right, I'm ready. I don't know about you. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of nothing. I'm all in. Let's see how it goes.